Attorney, would you like to make an opening statement?
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I'm here this morning in place of Senator Cash, who has a long-standing commitment in Perth today and therefore is unable to be here. I'm aware, of course, that at a hearing of this committee yesterday morning, Senator Cash was asked for 2 hours or more questions concerning the circumstances in which a member of her staff resigned following what was apparently the unauthorised disclosure in advance of the execution of search warrants against officers of the Australian Workers' Union in Sydney and Melbourne. I can tell the committee that following those events, Senator Cash's office was advised last night by the Australian Federal Police that they have commenced an investigation into that matter. You will recall, Madam Chairman and Senators, that that course of action was suggested by Senator Cash to the Commissioner in a letter which she wrote to him yesterday morning, and which I believe was tabled in the committee. Senator Cash's office has been contacted by Detective Superintendent Andrew Smith, the coordinator of Head Office Investigations of the Australian Federal Police, advising of that investigation, and also advising in relation to today's proceedings that as the matter is under investigation, it would not be appropriate to discuss the matter further. Therefore, neither I nor any officer who may be called before the committee this morning will be accepting any questions in relation to that matter at the request of the Australian Federal Police.
Are you seeking the call?
Yes, thank you.
Senator Cameron.
Do you have a copy of that request?
I do. It contains some other material which is not germane, but I'll read it to you in direct speech. Quote, as this matter...
Could you read it verbatim?
Yes, that's why I said in direct speech. It refers to this morning's Senate estimates hearing, and it says, inter alia, and Ms Hartland might verify that this is so, as this matter is under investigation, it would not be appropriate to discuss the matter further.
Senator Cameron?
It's not before the courts?
No.
Okay, so you're claiming public interest immunity?
I'm telling the committee, that may well be the right construction, Senator, but I'm telling the committee that of the fact that the AFP have commenced an investigation,
yep,
as Senator Cash recommended that they should do, I'm telling the committee that they have advised Senator Cash's office of that fact, and I'm telling the committee that the AFP Detective Superintendent Andrew Smith has said to Senator Cash's office in relation to this morning's proceedings, as this matter is under investigation, it would not be appropriate to discuss the matter further.
The Federal Police don't determine the processes for the Senate, do they?
No, the Senate determines the processes for the Senate.
Yeah.
I accept that.
Sorry, Attorney, what I might do, Senator Cameron, if you'd like, it is clear in the Senate standing orders that prejudice to law enforcement investigation is an acceptable grounds, but if you'd like, we can call the clerk and have a quick private meeting just to get, because this is a very important point.
I don't need the clerk yet.
Okay.
Unless you need the clerk.
Well, no, I'm just saying because this is obviously very germane to this morning's proceedings. So if you have any concerns about that, I would be very happy to suspend the meeting and get clerk's advice to make sure that this isn't...
I don't have, any correspondence before me from the Federal Police. I am unaware of how far the Federal Police consider that this should be constrained. there are aspects of this that I would continue to pursue and Labour would continue to pursue. This is the first time I have ever heard the Federal Police trying to intervene directly to advise a Senate committee how they should behave. I've never.
Senator Mackenzie, let Senator Cameron finish, and then I'll make a determination with
it's the first time I have been involved in a committee where we've got correspondence from the Federal Police to say this is how a Senate committee should conduct their business. I find it highly unusual. Senator Brandis, who initiated the correspondence?
I don't know, Senator.
You don't know. Do you know if the Prime Minister's office has spoke to the Federal Police?
Senator,
I'm asking a question.
Senator Cameron, I'm actually just going to call a quick private meeting because I
yes,
want to
shut
discuss.
It down.
No. We'll come back and discuss it fully, but this clearly relates to the standing orders. And
Madam Chairman, before you do, I think in fairness to Detective Superintendent Smith and the AFP generally, it would be a mischaracterisation of what I have said that the AFP is seeking to intervene in a Senate inquiry. What the AFP have advised the Minister's office, and because I'm the representative of the government before the committee this morning, have advised me that the matter is under investigation, and for that reason it would not be appropriate to discuss the matter.
No, Senator Cameron, just wait a minute. So as I understand it, you have not yet claimed public interest immunity.
Well, Senator, I was rather hoping that in view of the fact of the investigation being now on foot, and in view of the request of the Australian Federal Police that I have read onto the record, that would be the end of the matter, but plainly a public interest immunity could be claimed in these circumstances because interference with a criminal or law enforcement investigation it's not a borderline case, as it were. It's a core ground on which public interest immunity is claimed. Now, if to satisfy the Senate standing orders, you want me to express what I've said in terms of a claim of public interest immunity and put it in writing, I'll do so.
Thank you. So in accordance... No, Senator Cameron, I'm just establishing the procedure. So for public interest immunity claims, certainly prejudice to law enforcement investigations is a long-standing acceptable agreement. So for this ground to be invoked, it should be established that there are investigations in progress by a law enforcement agency such as the police,
well, I've established
which the attorney has established. Now, it also says in Standing Orders 10.3, C3, that the Minister shall provide to the committee a statement on the ground for that conclusion specifying
Well, why don't I'm sure Mr Liam Brennan, my Chief of Staff, is watching this broadcast. So perhaps I might ask through you, Madam Chairman, my office to prepare the appropriate... this was only drawn to my attention shortly before the committee convened, but I'll ask my office to prepare the appropriate
Thank you, Attorney. And
statement.
No, not yet. So thank you, Attorney. Look, if you can do that, and we'll pursue that issue further. But as we have the Asbestos Safety and Eradication Agency here, what we will do is we will go to that portfolio, we will deal with this claim for public interest immunity, and then we will proceed from there. So welcome, Mr Ty. Would you wish to make an opening statement now?
I've got a question of the Attorney General.
Well, I've just ruled that we're going to deal with this issue of public interest immunity first.
No, this is not. Sorry. I have a question of the Attorney General.
We will just have a quick private meeting, so this hearing is suspended.